Here are the progressive headlines for Monday, November 9th. The people have chosen Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, as you know. It's basically a historic moment and a tribute to our democracy. The hashtag voters decided has been trending. So check that one out because it is terrific. Here's our new guide. Now the exhausting election is over. We can count on new leaders to address the real challenges our country is facing, like the pandemic and economic recovery that works for everyone and not just Wall Street, fixing our healthcare system. Any politician can basically say whatever they want, but voters have spoken and given America the definitive election outcome. Now, GTFO, former President Trump, I think back to golfing is good for you. Official processes will proceed as mandated by law. So take heart, even though, as we just spoke with Andrew Jarrell Jones about how the corporate media wants to continue to scare you because they know that fear will continue you listening to their broadcasts. We here at act.tv, not corporate media, want to tell you again, the voters have spoken. There's a definite election outcome and official processes will proceed as mandated by law as states continue to count their votes, verify their results, and send electors to D.C. In December. There's that. Trump and his allies, by the way, they know he lost. His lies, their lies about the process reflect really their desperate reality. He's trying to divide us by sowing those doubts about our election, trying to interfere with the count, asking courts to throw out ballots cast by people struggling to make ends meet, Black people and new Americans for his own gain. So he's not into that. So let's keep our eye on that. And after days of uncertainty, the official result count, let me get you some numbers here. Official result count. Oh, we got the SCI. Yes. Did you feel like this? Those 2020 elections are clear. Trump has been soundly fired by the American people. Everyone wanted to make that joke. We're just getting on the bandwagon. It was the votes in the battleground state of Pennsylvania, yay, that pushed Biden over the 270 electoral vote threshold. Progressives immediately celebrated Biden's victory and expressed elation over Trump's pending departure. There's some elation for you, baby. Naomi Klein tweeted on Saturday, more elation, that the fall of tyrants must be celebrated. It's a human right. Profound thanks to all the grassroots groups who did deep organizing to make this happen and who will be pushing hard every day for the new administration to do whatever it takes to get us all to safety. Oh, I just love all these images of the celebrations, the dancing. I think people felt a lot of relaxation, felt a lot of relief. I want to actually share with you a video that Move On put out. They're one of our partners that we hang out with and work with quite a bit. And here is their video that they put out about the outpouring, just the outpouring of joy that was happening. This is on their Twitter feed. Let's make it a little bigger so you can see it all. Sorry about the white background again, but let's check.
We're seeing all over this nation, all cities and all parts of the country, indeed across the world, an outpouring of joy, of hope, renewed faith in tomorrow. Bring a better day.
Bringing faith back to democracy.
This is a great day for everyone, great day for America.
The voters decided this election. Those votes have been counted.
We've seen voter turnout numbers explode around the country.
A record more than 74 million Americans voted for the Biden ticket.
Young voters are refusing to be left out.
The most diverse voting electorate in American history.
Republican Party, I should say, is trying to do is suppress the vote.
Some waited many hours to cast their ballot.
First time vote. It was good.
This is one of the most important elections of our lifetime.
It is worth the wait in line.
Joe Biden has won the Keystone State, Pennsylvania.
Joe Biden has won the state of Wisconsin.
The winner in Michigan.
Biden took the lead statewide in Georgia.
Joseph R. Biden Jr. is elected the 46th president of the United States.
Americans have called upon us to marshal the forces of decency, the forces of fairness, and the forces of hope in the great battles of our time. The battle to restore decency, defend democracy, and give everybody in this country a fair shot.
I will be the first openly gay African-American member of Congress.
My name is Sarah McBride, and I am a proud transgender American.
So yesterday's election in 2020 represents the passing of the torch.
To the Black women, the Black girls, the nurses, the essential workers, the single mothers, this is our moment.
To see someone who looks like her, who looks like him, is going to really help them and help other children.
Senator Kamala Harris becoming the first Black woman to serve as vice president.
Now is when the real work begins. The hard work, the necessary work. And the road ahead will not be easy, but America is ready.
We must make the promise of the country real for everybody, no matter their race, their ethnicity, their faith, their identity, or their disability. As my grandpapa, our grandpapa used to say when I walked out of his home, keep the faith. And our grandmother, when she was alive, she yelled, no, Joey, spread it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Pretty great video, I gotta say, from Move On, our friends at Move On. I hope it wasn't like a big echoey mess when you listened to it just there. Did you celebrate? I absolutely celebrated. Here's the rest of the newscasts. Hit that. We don't want to miss the other stuff going on. And I got some good images. Here's some more partying. That's a lot of partying. I love it. I love it. You're allowed to feel good. And don't come crashing down when the corporate news media tries to scare you yet again. Everything, unless Trump drops bomb or whatever, but everything has been predicted by the people who know what Trump was up to. And I just like to see that his plan was foiled. Americans aren't the only one celebrating the new White House occupant. Joy and relief was felt across the globe with demonstrations and messages of congratulations from world leaders for the U.S. President-elect Joe Biden and VP-elect Kamala Harris. From London, the city's progressive Mayor Sadiq Khan, who often clashed with Trump and denounced his racism, congratulated Biden and Harris on their victory. Check it. From Iran, Foreign Minister Javad Zarif, whose tweet I am showing here, I will make it nice and big for you so you can check it. He was constantly criticizing Trump relentlessly for imposing those brutal sanctions on the Iranian people. He said in this tweet, as you can see, the American people have spoken and the world is watching whether the new leaders will abandon disastrous, lawless bullying of outgoing regime and accept multilateralism, cooperation, and respect for law. I think we will. That's what we voted for. If they don't, we're not going to be happy about that. So that's pretty great. And also, I think we talked about this a brief moment ago, but it's worth revisiting. On Saturday morning, shortly before the AP and other news outlets called the election for Biden, Trump took to Twitter to announce that his lawyers, Rudy Giuliani, would be holding a big press conference in Philadelphia. It was supposed to be at the Four Seasons, and it was, but there seems to have been some major confusion about which Four Seasons. Philadelphia. Trump corrected himself and said that the news conference is going to be held at the Four Seasons Total Landscaping instead of the Four Seasons Hotel. The Four Seasons Hotel made sure everyone knew that the news conference would not be held there. Ha, 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 ha. He. Making matters even stranger, the landscaping business was between an adult bookstore and a cremation center. Absolutely perfect for the outgoing pussy grabber in chief and his dead presidency. The location led to lots of mockery online, and many people were very happy with the scene. Yes, comedy is alive once again. That's our friend Patton Oswalt right there saying, "This is not over, for we shall mount our righteous stand at the Four Seasons Total Landscaping next to Fantasy Island Adult Books, across from the Delaware Valley Cremation Center, between the fire extinguisher and the yellow hose. MAGA." Couldn't they find a Confederate statue to, couldn't they find a Confederate statue that they could have held this party in front of? I have to say, it's a joy to report this news to you today. Let's not forget the important down ballot races of this election cycle. Progressives are celebrating the victory of Democratic State Representative Chloe Maxim, who ran on the promise of a Green New Deal and offering a politics of as public service, which it's supposed to be. Anyway, she won in a strong GOP district in her first campaign for elected office. Maxim won over voters in her district by engaging deeply with her community and offering a platform focused on climate action, investing in universal broadband access, and treating healthcare as a human right. And this is a Republican district. While the National Democratic Party often expresses wariness about engaging with voters in traditionally conservative areas about issues erroneously deemed left-wing, such as far-reaching action to solve the climate emergency, Maxim's winning campaign suggests that Democrats can find more success with rural voters by being unapologetic proponents of policies aimed at helping working people. Who knew? Oh, wait, all the progressives and Bernie. We all knew that. Pretty great. All right. And additionally, in other positive news, the pharmaceutical company Pfizer says an early peek at its vaccine data is suggesting that shots may be 90% effective at preventing COVID-19, indicating the company is on track later this month to file an emergency use application with U.S. regulators. Authorities have stressed it's unlikely that any vaccine will arrive much before the end of the year, but the end of the year is right around the corner. It's almost Thanksgiving. Limited initial surprise will be rationed. Global markets already buoyed by the U.S. victory of President-elect Joe Biden exploded with the news from Pfizer. All major markets in Europe where infections have soared are up 5%. Money. Pfizer doesn't plan to stop its study until it records 164 infections among all volunteers, a number that the FDA has agreed is enough to tell how well the vaccine is working. The agency has made it clear that any vaccine must be at least 50% effective. That's not very hopeful. I'm not sure how we're going to pass that through, the gauntlet of people concerned about corporate malfeasance and the intersection of medicine with money. But we'll talk about that in another show. I'm Julianna Forlano. You're watching act.tv. If you're watching on YouTube, you know what I'm going to say. Subscribe and watch us every single day for news without fear.